And welcome to this week's Green Room, and thrown in at the deep end straight away. We have 5 production assistants tonight, and they're all doing something really special for us. What it is, nobody knows. I know that Charlie's killing flies, and she's getting ready for her screen debut next week, and Mika will be on the week after that. But anyway, I have one lovely guest this week, because we're going to be looking at opera, and we're going to look at Charlie McGettigan has a charity thing. I've got an email that I had to print off here. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but we've got the lovely Becky O'Connor with us here, Rebecca O'Connor. Is it Rebecca or Becky?
Whatever. I tend to introduce myself as Rebecca and then quickly change over to Becky. It seems,
Becky is.
Formal.
Yeah, Becky's great. Becky is. Are you a poet or a poetess?
Oh, a poet.
Poet.
Yeah.
Poet. And poetry now is just. Especially now, I know there's loads and loads and loads of famous. Who's the most famous woman poet?
The most famous, I'd say the one.
Bronte.
No, I'd say Sylvia Plath is the one that most people would know.
That's nowadays, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't Charlotte Bronte a poet?
Charlotte Bronte was a novelist, wasn't she?
No, I think she was. Google it, Dave. I think Charlotte Bronte was one of the Brontes.
You showed me up already.
One of the Brontes was a poet. I think.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why that is, but anyway, we have our own poet now, and of course Becky has strong associations with Mott's Productions as well. But Becky, tell us about your new collection of poems.
Well, the new collection is out next week, and it's been a long time coming because I've been dabbling in writing since I was a child, and I suppose I started to take it more seriously in my late 20s, and then I had a small pamphlet published back in 2005. I was a writer in residence at the Wordsworth Trust at the time, and they published it. That was about 20 poems. So this is a full collection, So.
Now, before you tell us any more, we have the video ready, and we're just going to have a quick look at the video. And Becky, in my earpiece, it has been Googled that Emily Bronte was a poet.
Oh, so embarrassed.
It's not all rock and roll, it's not. But here's a video made by Finn, of course, Finn Keenan, and this is Becky's poem.
Dear taxidermist, out here past the adolescent River Erne, with your fish heads eyeing us from the shelves. A 2-headed lamb was once brought into you by a vet, you say, and a black bear by someone else. If I had 2 heads, I'd give one to you to mould and make good again. Make a gift of it to a friend, mounted on a piece of driftwood. Instead, I bring you this bullfinch, bloodshot on the glass pane of the conservatory, where it mistook the reflection of the rowan tree for the real thing. It's a wedding present. Strange, you say, but beautiful all the same, as my second head would be, given the right hands.
Where do you get inspiration for stuff like that? Hold on, before you answer that question, was that a taxidermist studio? Is it called a studio?
Yeah, that was where I got the inspiration for that poem. So Finn and I went back to the taxidermist to film it.
Is it local? Is it?
Near Ballinya. What's it called? God, I can't remember.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, out beyond Ballinya. So it's just a culmination of things. So I was struck by that place and the setting. You can't see the outside there, but the setting of the place beyond the River Erne. And at the time, a friend was sick actually, and I was thinking about that when I was writing the poem. And so that idea of if I had a second head, I'd give it to a friend.
Yes,
so it's kind of it was reaching out to that friend in a way, and. I just wanted to try and capture that kind of mood, so it has that kind of autumnal mood.
Well, it definitely caught it. It definitely has the atmosphere of it there. And, and you get your own. And when I watched it the other day, and I was thinking, I got a different thing from it altogether, like, about friendship and
absolutely,
and stuff like that. Like, just there was, but it was then it had an eerie thing to it as well, because you start thinking, who'd want to be a taxidermist?
And it's great because Finn, focuses in on the knives, and so it is kind of unsettling as well, which I kind of enjoy.
But that's that you have this darkness on your poetry, haven't you? It's not gothic. It's more.
It's dark. I suppose I kind of like dark comedy, and I kind of
like what? Like, come on.
What kind of dark comedy do I like? Oh, the League of Gentlemen, that kind of stuff. So.
Do you write funny poems?
Well, I hope some of them are funny.
Are they funny, or funny, scary?
Some are funny, and some are funny, scary. I think. But I mean, that's up to the reader, But,
and that is the secret with poetry, isn't it? That you have to reach out to everybody, that everyone gets something different and goes, well, I think
if something is written well, and it's communication basically. If it's written well, and you're honest and it has integrity, then you will reach out to people. Because there's only certain things you can write about: love and death and sex and marriage and whatever. There are only so many things. It's just being able to reach out to people.
Yeah.
In the same way that music does. I don't
exactly. It's just something
striking a chord with people.
Something hits you.
Yeah.
What about this award you won? What's this award you won? The Jeffrey Dermer Prize.
Oh, that was a few years back.
Don't diss it. That's great. You won a prize.
So I had some poems in Poetry Review in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And
no mean feat.
I was delighted. They were some of the first poems I had published. Actually, were in Poetry Review, and every year they choose the best poem from a poet who hasn't yet got a full collection. So they chose a poem called "A Bag of Tangerines."
Could you remember it? No, I'm putting you on the spot.
I've got it in the book, actually.
Yeah, come on, give us this.
It's a pretty unassuming kind of a poem.
Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. This is Becky's prize.
I think I have it in here.
She won the Jeffrey Dermer Prize in 2004. And that's for the best poetry review poem. Now this sounds like a bit of a limerick. The best poetry review poem by a poet who doesn't yet have a full collection.
It's a mouthful. Anyway, "A Bag of Tangerines." About a dozen tangerines fell out of my blue shopping bag and rolled down the bus aisle. That made them smile, though it was only a bag of tangerines rolling down the aisle. A gentleman in a white tunic handed me 4 at a time. The lady next to me stooped down and scooped up a few. The bus driver slowed right down. "Are they limes?" "No, they're mandarins. Tangerines. A little bruised now."
Brilliant. And is that from life experience?
Yeah, it was, and it was one of those poems that sort of kind of tripped off the pen. Most of them don't, but it was a funny little incident on the bus one day in London, and it's one of my sort of happier poems as well. I think of it as a kind of sunnier poem.
Well, come on, give us one of your dark ones. Give us
one of the dark ones. One
of the darker ones. I can see these poems that have been taken off by Tim Burton or somebody.
Oh well, I'll read a very short one then, and a lot of them are very, very short as well. It's another thing, but
no, read it, but give us the good epic. Give us the.
Well, as I say, they're all pretty short, but I'll give you this little one. It's called "Dream." You and I lie in a large cot. The grinning bat, hanging from the bulb above us, flaps his wings as the rat leans from the ceiling to gnaw him from his perch. A bird pecks at the rat. Bees bump against the bird's wings.
That is. It's lovely though. It's not that dark. It's not.
I suppose it's not particularly.
There's romance in there as well.
That's true. Yeah.
And the world's greatest love story is a tragedy, Romeo and Juliet. It's 1 minute they're in love, next minute game over. But Becky, you're launching the pub. Did you ever think of putting stuff on YouTube, like a Talking Heads thing?
Well, this video of the taxidermist has gone up.
That's your first one.
Yeah.
It's a good.
And I only really thought of doing that because Finn Keenan is such a brilliant, filmmaker, cinematographer.
Which cinematographer. It's Finn. That's your title now, cinematographer. I was with him last week in London, but enough. We more about that later on. But Becky, now you're going to have a launch of the book.
Yeah, next week, the 22nd, we're having a party at the Moth.
Party now you're talking my kind of poetry. Yeah.
So from 7:30 on, I'll read a few poems and we'll have drinks and that'll be it. It should be fun.
Is there cake?
I don't know about cake.
There will be cake. Well, we'll be there.
Oh, I hope so.
We better be there.
We better be there. Yeah.
Will. I've got all of this now. Will. I'm sure you're there. Well, Becky, you're not small either.
No, I'm 6 foot.
6 foot. And is this a life's ambition come true for you?
Well, it's an ongoing thing, I suppose. And
is the Moth part of it as well?
I suppose. Well, an early ambition was to work in publishing. So, and I worked in book publishing in London. I never really thought I was going to end up publishing a magazine, but I do remember making a magazine in school. And enjoying that very much, So and in terms of ambition, I suppose that it's a step.
Yeah.
Publishing a book is a step on the road, and it's kind of cathartic because it means okay, I can forget about all of those and start afresh now.
Would you ever think of writing a book?
I've written a couple of novels, but they're
novels.
Yeah,
novels. Not just a little penguin paperback.
Well, actually, they're novellas.
Truth.
They're novellas.
Tell us about them. Tell me about them now.
Well,
there's probably murder, mystery, sex, a lot in these, is there?
There is actually. The first one, I'll tell you as briefly as I can, but the first one I wrote many years back.
Yeah.
I think it may be in 2003 or something, and it was about a boy who'd witnessed his father kill his mother, so it was pretty dark. So, but I also drew on stuff that had happened in Cavan, the orphanage.
Oh yes, yeah.
So that story comes into it, is woven into it.
Are these books still available?
They're not published. It's not published. The second one I'm working on at the moment is about a man who. There's a murder again. His wife has disappeared, and he believes that she's been murdered by the woman he was having an affair with. He also believes that he can communicate with his plant. So the whole story is told through.
This is your new one.
The plant.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the one you're doing now.
Yeah. So the plant has witnessed this murder basically, and the plant tells us the story.
The plant is telling the story in the book.
Yeah. So it's called. It had different titles, but now it's The Secret Life of Plants.
It's Stephen King stuff, isn't it?
I don't know.
It is.
I don't know, but
frightening the shite out of me here. I tell you, I'm not talking any plants now. That's it. I'm doing nothing.
But that one's supposed to be funny. The plant one.
Yeah. What about now? Just when you're talking now about novellas and poems and stuff like that, would you do a script?
For a film?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to be honest. I wouldn't know where to start. And
but if you're writing a book, you're writing from another person's perspective, like you're saying.
Yeah, it's just technically I wouldn't know how to go about it. How long it would have to be, or I suppose I could find these things out, but I've never felt the urge. I've attempted to try to write a play twice, and I wrote a page each time. So I just found it very hard.
Yeah, but surely that's how it starts. Like, you start from there and it, like, flows on and on and on, and it just next thing you've got a book.
Yeah. You have some. Yeah, exactly. You have some vague notion of where it's going to go, but you don't really know. But with the scripts, I just find it difficult. I suppose because you're. I don't know. You're using a different kind of part of your brain, trying to work out scene changes and.
Yeah.
All that kind
that
of
technical
stuff.
end would be you could tell a story. But then, I often see that people say, the film was nothing like the book. Everybody says that. They go and see a film and say, oh, no, read the book, it's 10 times better.
Yeah. Well, it usually is, because it's very hard to translate all that's in a book onto the screen, because in a book you get to go inside people's heads,
Yeah.
So
It's...
But it works sometimes. Like To Kill a Mockingbird is an amazing film.
Yeah, it is. And it's
an amazing book. But, yeah.
It's iconic. It's an iconic film. Like, you know, it's a must-see for both on school level and entertainment level.
Yeah.
You know, you can watch it and learn so much from it. And you could have a To Kill a Mockingbird in you. I think you have.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, Becky
wish.
has got. She's got We'll Sing Blackbird, and it's on the 22nd of November. Becky's staying with me for the rest of the show, and we're going to talk about other stuff. Becky, the 22nd of November at the Moth.
That's right. 7:30.
Everyone welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Bring a bottle.
there'd be bottles there.
There'll be bottles there. It could be Cavern Cola, we never know.
I wish. I love Cavern Cola.
Yeah, Cavern Cola is...
Yeah, they should bring it back.
It's gone viral at the moment. It has on the internet.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, there's a big demand for it. And
really?
Allegedly somebody in the town has the recipe for it.
And is the factory still there?
Well, it's there, but it's not functional.
I know, but it's still
there.
Oh.
Ah, you never know. Well, Becky, thanks. Becky's staying with us, so I'm not going to say goodbye to Becky because I wanted to stay with me for the rest of the show. Now, Charlie McGettigan's got this video about Romanian orphanages and everything. We're going to give you a look at it now, and we're going to tell a message. I'll tell you all about it when you come back. Watch the video. Watch this. Now, this is about Romanian orphans.
I still can recall when they pulled down the wall, and that Bucharest winter, and Ceausescu's fall, when they poured through the border like an army of ants in their Ladas and Dachas and smoky Trabants. And a little boy stared through the cold window bars. He could just see the gutter, but never the stars. The Cold War was over and the people were free. They could have all that stuff that they saw on TV, but who would take care of the children? Who would take care of the children? They could have all that stuff that they saw on TV, but who would take care of the children? So we loaded our trucks up with timber and tools, and we crossed over borders, and we broke all the rules. We fixed all the windows, and we painted the walls, brought laughter and joy to the orphanage halls. And the young boy looked out through the cold window bars, and he smiled as he caught his first glimpse of the stars. The Cold War was over, the people were free. They could have all that stuff that they saw on TV, and we tried to take care of the children. We tried to take care of the children. They could have all that stuff that they saw on TV. We tried to take care of the children. We finished our work and we went on our way, and they promised us that they would keep it that way. They wouldn't steal stuff meant for children at play. They would never hurt the young children. And the young boy looked out through the cold window bars. He could just see the gutter and sometimes the stars. The Cold War was over, the people were free. They could have all that stuff that they saw on TV, and they said they'd take care of the children. They said they'd take care of the children. They could have all that stuff that they saw on TV, and they said they'd take care of the children. I still can recall when they pulled down the wall, and that Bucharest winter and Ceausescu's fall. The little boy's grown, but he's still in his cell, still living his life in that far distant hell. Now the young man looks out through the cold window bars. He just stares at the gutter, he's forgotten the stars. The Cold War is over, the people are free. They've got all that stuff that they saw on TV, but they didn't take care of the children. They didn't take care of the children. Yes, they got all that stuff that they saw on TV, but they didn't take care of the children. They didn't take care of the children.
That's a Charlie McGettigan's song there, and it's very poignant, very hard-hitting, as you've seen by the video. There's some very strong images in it. Now this is a statement explaining it to you, explaining what that song, etc. was about. We wrote this song to try and raise the awareness of this issue, one of the worst human rights scandals in Europe. The problems in Romania's institutions have not been solved. The children that we saw in the newspapers and on our TV screens in the orphanages in the 90s are now adults, and now they're still living in these terrible places. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Persons with Disabilities states that everybody has the right to live in society, and nobody should be excluded from enjoying this basic human right because they have a disability. In Romania and in many other Eastern European countries, this basic human right is denied to tens of thousands of people, and they are left to rot in appalling conditions, as you've seen there, in grim institutions. We wanted to let people know that this problem has not been solved. Please send the link for this song to everyone. It's on YouTube. You'll see it on YouTube. And send it to, share it on Facebook and Twitter, etc., etc., and ask anybody to share it as well. And they will donate all the funds raised from the sale of the single to organisations that work to remove people from Romanian institutions and assist them with the transition to normal life. Now that's Charlie McGettigan and crew. Then you can find out more about. You see it on Charlie's page, and you see it on his Facebook page, and I think. Yeah, it is. Dave's just telling me it's on the Facebook page, and instructions on how to donate, and it's very, very sad stuff. It's funny, Becky's still here with me. It's weird that it's still going on, isn't it?
It's really weird. I remember my cousin going over there 20 years ago to help, to volunteer.
Yeah.
And then it just seemed like the problem disappeared.
That's
like,
it, yeah.
Oh, right, we've sorted that one,
Yeah.
But we just all forgot.
It goes off the radar, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what it is, and it's forgotten about. It's just, well, that's media. That's the way it works, isn't it? It's
human nature as well, that we just kind of quickly move on to worry about the next thing.
What's the next thing coming up?
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, we're going to leave you tonight with a bit of opera, and this is Giuseppe Verdi's Aida. And it's by the Lyric Opera Company, and they're in Dublin, and it's in the Gaiety. I think it's on the Gaiety all this week, and they did a flash mob in Powerscourt Town Centre in Dublin last Sunday it was, and here's how it went. I'm going to leave you with this now this week. Many thanks to Rebecca O'Connor, who has her launch next week, the 22nd of November in Church Street in Cavan. So everybody welcome to that. I'm going to go down to that as well. Will there be wine?
Yeah. Of course.
I'm your man.
Oh God, we're going to have throngs of people. The horse.
And you'll be selling copies of the book.
Yeah.
Of course. You're right. Right, so until next week, here's the flash mob. Very well done this. Now watch this, the way flash mob, if you don't know, is the unsuspecting public are treated to an impromptu performance of Dave, you know what it is. You've seen them before. Right, so we'll let you watch it, but this is what happened last Sunday in Powerscourt. Until next week on the Green Room. Charlie, get well soon. I know Charlie's away this evening, but Charlie McGettigan will be on with us. If not next week, the week after. I think the Song Sisters now. Oh, here, watch this. Thanks a minute.